stuff going on. Just crap. Like, we're not really even talking. We're just fucking...
That is what it is. What else is it? What else is it?
Structured, expert.
You've just said you literally have
opinions.
nothing to bring to the table for this episode.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I really don't. And normally I am prepared, and that's for real. Normally I am prepared. I make lists like this.
Yep.
And this.
Yep.
But today, no list, blank piece of paper.
Blank canvas,
So
some might call it.
Yeah, blank canvas. Some say blank canvas.
Well, let's get into it, shall we?
Let's get into it.
Don't get into it. Get into it.
Exactly, man.
Let's
episode 10.
Episode 10.
Yes.
I want to have. We don't have a theme tune, unfortunately, but we should have one. The Skype one.
Yeah, that's
so
not
annoying.
a bad idea. A remix of the Skype one, a garage remix.
Yes.
Of the Skype one. A little bit like that'd be good actually.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Skype garage one, yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've got a theme tune, and it really sticks in my head.
What is it?
The theme tune
your
for
theme
my
tune, yeah.
YouTube theme.
Oh
tune.
no, it's so sticky, that one, isn't it? Like one, mate, it's in, isn't it?
Some of them
what is it? I can't do it now.
And then
how did you find that?
Mate, I don't know. I just had it stuck on my iMovie, and it's the only track I had downloaded, so I just used it on everything. And then I didn't even realise it said it, or it could perceivably say my name in it. So I was stoked when I found that. Have you noticed there's like different theme songs for different shows almost include syllable. Okay, I'll give you an example. Who wants to be a millionaire?
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Accident? I think not.
Can you not do that to everything, or no?
Now check this out. Da, 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 Game of Thrones.
Never knew. So
yeah. So we need one like lockdown companion. So it needs to be like da 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 da.
And you had people reach out and made yours for you.
Yeah, man.
The Yoda remixes.
Yeah, and I feel really bad because obviously for the one that I used, there was so many that I didn't.
Wow.
So many people. That's what's
really
so
nice.
interesting about it, isn't it? Like when you do something like quite specifically bikes. I wouldn't say what we are talking about is specifically bikes, but I guess it is the subject, isn't it?
Yeah.
The category.
The community.
And then you realise everyone's into so many different things. It's wicked.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's so many bike riders that I would never have known were music producers also in their spare times.
I've just remembered the dude as well who, after we did the episode talk about Tiger King, reached out and was like, I look after big cats at a zoo, Chester Zoo. Come down.
Yeah.
And he wanted to let us do the whole thing. So we have to do that actually. Once we come out of lockdown, we can go look at some animals, dude.
Please.
Go do the old VIP experience.
Please do spike ball in a lion cage. So down for that.
Bring it. Bring it.
You know, I often do that. There's something funny about like riding around when you're on a cross country ride. You're riding past all the houses. Honestly, most rides I do this. I look at every house and I come up with a scenario for how they got that house, how much money they got, what their job is. That's bad, isn't it? But
there's some big cribs around you, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like asking?
I don't know. It'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
But I'm the same.
Make your money, mate.
Yeah, well, I you know, if you see like I don't know, you're in the petrol station and you see like a Ferrari, and you just like, I just want to go and ask. Just, I'm not jealous, bit.
No, it's just interesting.
More
isn't
curious, like how have you got that car? You know.
Yeah.
I
was talking to Bren about like supercars and stuff the other day, and you know, obviously everyone's into you're into stuff that just goes quick. You know, I love like fast. I like really old stuff mainly.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could do it. Pull up somewhere. We were talking about how much we like them, and you look at what you might be able to perhaps afford if you saved up all your money and you spent it.
Yeah.
And then you imagine yourself turning up to a coffee shop in that vehicle.
Yeah.
I couldn't pull it off, man.
It'd wear off.
Cigars or Yeah,
it'd wear off. What I reckon once, and as soon as you got that look off someone, that like, dickhead. Look,
I don't have it.
You'd be like, nah.
But how much of a shame is that? It's like he's just someone who's got one of those cars has just made it, and they could just be really into like the engineering aspect. They could be really into just any number of different things.
There are people like that. In fact, G Milner's a good example. So G's got a Porsche. No doubt if you follow G on Instagram, you've seen it 10 times a day. But, you know, he came on the podcast and we started talking about that, and he was like, I just genuinely love engineering and nice cars. So how many people love having a, I don't know, 10 grand bike? But you don't scoff at them, do you? When you see them in the woods, you're not like, oh, look at you.
No, exactly, dude. Exactly, because I think the problem is there is like a status attachment, and there doesn't necessarily have to be.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
There's someone down my road. They've got like a small house, and they've got like a really new Porsche sat in the drive, and like my natural go-to reaction is like, oh man, he's just he's swanning around like he owns the place, and he still lives in a dump like I do.
Yeah.
But that's not how I should think. I should think like this guy clearly loves that car.
Yeah, so much so that he's prepared to not live in a nice house to have the nice car.
Yeah.
And
exactly. Like that's really cool. I really respect that. He wanted that car and he really enjoys it, and he probably goes out, he cleans it, he takes it for Sunday
it's
drive.
Quite a frustrating hobby, isn't it? Nice cars, because you know, if you really want one, you can't. Not many people can afford a new Porsche or whatever. Whereas with a bike, even if it's a 10 grand bike, you split it over whatever 3 years on finance, it's sort of achievable with a normal job. But if you're into nice cars, then not a prayer, is it?
Yeah, and if we're talking about the actual act of driving or the act of speed and getting away with it, I tell you what, I dance around on my bike at 12 miles an hour, about to crash the whole time, and I get such. So I wonder about this. This is another good point. This is not another good point because I've made literally 0 good points. But so Isle of Man TT.
Yeah.
That seems to me like complete madness.
It's different. I went there actually a few years ago. It's good.
Did you?
Yeah, it's good. Really, really good. I worked at a motorcycle store, so they like Suzuki paid for us to go and just do the whole 2 days tourist thing. And my cousin's good mates with John McGuinness as well.
Wow, yeah.
So it's really cool insight, like going over there. I mean, that is next level shit. That is next level shit. Did you ever see there was almost like a behind the scenes documentary about him? And there was like this really touching moment in it where before he goes off to the Isle of Man, he like prepares himself to die. As in, he'll spend like a day mowing the lawn, getting everything in order. Basically, like he expects that he's probably not going to come home.
What, he dug a hole in the garden?
Maybe. Yeah, how gnarly is that though? I mean, that's gnarly, isn't it? I mean, that's. I know like what we do. No, maybe not me, but like what other people do is dangerous and stuff. But you probably don't go into it with that headspace. I bet Bren doesn't go to Rampage thinking, I wonder if I'm going to come home. You're pretty sure that you're going to be all right.
Dude, you talk to him about it, and he's like, yeah. Even like that canyon flip, he's like, I was planning for a collarbone. Worst case scenario, we're talking about collarbone and concussion. Yeah. Which is horrible to think you're going into it with that. I mean, I've certainly gone through like which crashes are going to happen if they happen. And you think about like, oh, that's collarbone, that's 6 weeks. Like the head injury one, not that up for that one. That's a bit.
No, I know. Weird,
but
isn't it?
Yeah.
Strange.
So with the TT, this is what interests me. So what the thrill that you get from buzzing past a curb at 200 miles an hour is on the same scale as the thrill that you get on your mountain bike going past a tree at 20 miles an hour.
True.
How much more is it? So when I just about get away with something on my mountain bike, which happens a lot, when I'm dancing and I'm feeling it,
and
I'm just getting away with this and that and this and that, I'm going pinballing down a track, I feel like I've just cheated a load of different accidents, and like I'm like, that feeling.
Yeah.
I wonder how that compares really to like because okay, so my argument would be, and I can't really argue it because I don't know, but my argument would be that I can't see any room for improvement on me just about making it out of a crazy gap into a corner and then just about getting away with it, compared to just about getting away with it with a
200 mile an hour.
A 200 mile an hour blind crest round a turn.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just an interesting thought to me. Like,
it is. Dude, you're right. You are right. I guess it's just that level of, like you say, intensity. But is it that more intense? Because it's and you're in your comfort zone as well, aren't you? Like, you're comfortable with that. And
exactly.
John McGuinness is comfortable with that 200 mile an hour narrow miss in a curb.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a brick wall on the inside. Like, he's comfortable.
He's done
with
laps of that.
Laps of it.
Yeah, he's done laps of that, just like I've done laps of just about getting away with it.
Yeah.
And then you think, like, at 200 miles an hour, okay, what if a bike went 400 miles an hour? And he's still done 20 laps going at 400 miles an hour over the blind crest. Like, would the feeling, like, obviously the danger aspect is way higher. Would the feeling be any, I don't know,
increased?
Interesting thought, though.
Very interesting thought. But is it have you found that, is it more like, let's say you're doing laps in Surrey Hills and you just, like, local trails and you're missing things and doing things, and then you've ridden, let's say, Fort William. I know you did that a few years ago because you crashed. But
I did.
Yeah. Is it? Do you notice a difference between that and Fort William? That makes sense.
Well, Fort William. Well, actually, that's a funny story, isn't it? We should talk about the Fort William story. So, Claudio Caluri, who does the track previews, he talks his way down the track previews. This is a couple of years back, I guess, and Claudio had a big off at the previous one. I can't remember where it was, but it's Val de Sol. I can't remember. Anyway, he had like I think it was a hematoma. He had like swelling on his brain. It was really bad. They had to drain it. He was like having concussion symptoms. So it's gnarly. It's like, I'd never done it.
Yeah.
And I was aware that he had a unique skill, like talking as he goes down a track, and he's a really good bike rider. A lot of people don't realise that Claudio raced for years. He's a Red Bull athlete. He's a downhill rider,
Yeah.
So it shouldn't come as a surprise, because obviously he's an analyst on the World Cups. But anyway, so I got a phone call. They were obviously desperate. They were obviously scanning through the phone book, like, who can we even get? And I think we kind of came to the conclusion that it would be a funny idea and an interesting contrast, and by no means a comparison with me and Claudio, because I was on a trail bike.
Right.
And we were going to do one where I follow G down and I'm on a trail bike, and it becomes obvious how incredible these riders are and how rough this course was. So that was kind of the aim,
Okay.
It wasn't that from the outset. That's what we thought was going to happen,
right? Yeah.
So anyway, I got a phone call, and they offered to fly me up, and and what an opportunity, man! I was like, I'm forever grateful for opportunities like that. Like, I don't know why I got it, but I got it. So
awesome.
I flew up there. I felt like a crazy person. I was just flying up on my own with my bike. Got a hire car, drove all the way there on my own. All of these things offer a lot of time to, like, think. And dude, I was nervous as well.
Really?
I was like, well, I've never ridden Fort William track. Weirdly, I've been up there so many years just as a super fan of the sport. So
yeah.
To me, it's probably the same as, me doing it is the same as a lot of the people who are listening to this doing it. They'd be like, they've watched it countless times. They kind of know the track to a certain extent.
Yeah.
They know what it entails, but they've never ridden it. And so I was going into it, as a super fan, and obviously there's a lot of pressure to actually.
Yeah, and then that a few million people are probably going to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we hoped.
Yes.
So this is a good story actually. No one probably knows about this.
Well, I only know it because I saw you up there. It was like one of the first times we met, and you were hobbling through the pits, and I was like, "You all right?"
yeah. No, I wasn't. Anyway, So it's really pressured. I've never ridden a track. I don't get a practice run. The practice run is behind G. Atherton, who has won there. Okay, so
holy shit.
So course is closed, and there's this weird, like, buzz. It's fucking a World Cup. There's people everywhere, but the course is closed. And this is before practice. This happens, so I think it's before practice. I can't remember anyway, but yeah, it's before practice. It's after
on the Thursday or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we've gone up there at a weird time, and it's all like a bit like, I don't know. Probably it was just me being nervous, but it felt like a weird energy, you know. Like the track's closed, there's people there, but you don't want anyone watching. And I've got to follow G, and then I've got to present to the camera at the same time. And it's a 5-minute long track odd, so it's a lot of like, 5 minutes if you're going at G's pace, you know. Anyway, so I'd previously watched Claudio's. Obviously, I've spent years watching Claudio's course previews, and he screams and he shouts, and sometimes I was like aware that I didn't want to be trying to do a Claudio course preview and doing a shit version of Claudio's preview. So I was going to do it my own way. Obviously, I'm on a 150 trail bike as well, so I followed G in. And I've always wondered about like Claudio's screaming, and I was like, dude, you can't just do screaming just to be like Claudio.
Yeah.
But when you're like tensing and you're moving that quick, it just comes out. So I've done all of the top bits.
Yeah.
All the top bits of Bike Parky, they're all good. G's still bombing off. G's like, obviously from G's perspective, he must be like, I know G really well, but he must still be like, this guy thinks he's getting down on a trail bike. I'm gonna gap him hard, you know. So I've gone through all the top turns. He's pulling on me. I'm doing my best to just talk any old shit. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm just talking about how I've always wondered what these turns are like.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And anyone who's seen the Fort William World Cup track, it basically goes from smooth bike park into just rock hell instantly.
Yeah.
You know the bit I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You come out of a left and it's just blah, 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 blah. You're off the boardwalks. You just...
That's right.
And it is hell, dude. And like the gap must have been, it was already big, and the gap must have just. So I'm making it down there, and I'm screaming like Claudio, like without even meaning to. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I follow G in, and there's like a few things on track that I had in mind, right? So one of them, you go through the deer gate, and then there was this like triple, and I was just like, it's real big, and all the races do it every run, it's no problem, but they're on downhill bikes.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to do the triple. I'm going to at least try and keep them in sight for one bit of it. I did the triple, and I could not believe how quick we were going. Like, I'm from the Surrey Hills, you know. We ride like 12 mile an hour, like lone turns. Anyway, that was one point. The second point was the wall ride, because through all my years watching, no one does the wall ride except for like Sam Dale.
Right. Yeah.
And I've always been like, oh, fuck, just do the wall ride. It's cool. Like, it's there. Just do it, guys. I know you're racing, but just do the wall ride. So I've come into the wall ride. I've got the worst arm pump ever imaginable. By the way, we've already had 2 stops before this for me to try and get blood back in my arms.
Oh, wow.
Or out of my arms. I don't even know what arm pump is, but I had it bad.
Yeah.
So I come into the wall ride, and I have the hugest high side swap on that I can only put down to like lack of concentration, me trying to talk, and arm pump. And so I've flown backwards, and the people at GoPro, you're completely rigged up. So someone does it all for you, and they'd put like a GoPro mounted like on my back, and I landed on the GoPro mounted on my back on the floor. Like this is at like 30 miles an hour off the wall ride. I've gone completely upside down backwards. Smashed my helmet.
So did you get up the wall ride and then almost just like inverted?
So I high-sided.
Right.
So you can still see my tyre marks now. They're like some of the highest marks on there. So I've got on the wall ride, and I've not leant over enough because I'm just tired and lame. And then I've swapped and shot myself off the end of the wall ride until I'm upside down.
Jeez.
Like, it's the most stupid crash ever. Like, if there was a video of it, you'd just think I was a crazy person. Anyway, so I finished it, and like I didn't tell anyone that I was doing it other than like Bren. So Bren's waiting at the bottom, Claudio's waiting at the bottom to like take over the thing. And like I've come into the finish line, I'm all dazed. I've caught up with G. I'm like, dude, I crashed. And all of the sound's gone. I don't realise, so I'm still talking, pedaling into the finish line, did the whole thing, and then none of the outro recorded the sound.
Right.
So then I had to push up and do the motorway again, and my chain came off. So it was just like, it's the biggest nightmare ever. My peak's wonky, my helmet's cracked where I hit my head so hard.
Shit.
I couldn't feel all of my back because basically I'd like damaged nerves, but in the moment I was like a little bit embarrassed and a little bit nervous, and I just wanted to quickly get it done. So we went back up. I did all the last section, like casing everything, because I was just tucking, trying to make the jumps with no chain. Oh man, it was a nightmare. Anyway, Red Bull looked through it, they edited it, and they said it was really one of the funniest track previews they'd ever had.
Right.
But they felt uneasy about me crashing in it and how they would come across, which I do completely understand. In hindsight, it would have looked kind of bad.
So have you seen it?
Some squid. I've never seen it. I said to them I didn't really want to, because it's horrible. I got like, because it was my back.
Yeah.
I got put in like instant. It was kind of scary. They put me in like one of those like stretchers, and there's no phone reception. I wasn't allowed to like move my arms in case my back. They just don't take any risks.
Yeah.
So I just went off to hospital for like 5-6 hours whilst they did all of the scans and X-rays and all of this. Yeah, wow. It's mad, dude. Mad.
What a crazy story.
Yeah, and then I had a GoPro. It felt like I had a GoPro stuck on my back for like a year after.
Did it?
And the first time in a long time, I was climbing the other day, and I could feel the GoPro. I can feel like a perfect square in my back. It's so weird.
No way.
Just like a weird, like nerve.
Just a dead spot, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, yeah. Like, I'm absolutely fine. It's completely fine, but it's just where it like spasmed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
And that's what, 3 years ago, give or take?
Yes, that's my track preview story. And then, the week after, I had to fly to Trans Madeira to race Trans Madeira for Focus. And I just went out there not thinking I'd be able to ride, and I was in such a bad way.
Right.
Like, Trans Madeira is unbelievably physical. I skipped the first 2 days, and then I did the rest of it, but I was like hanging apart. I could barely like walk. It was so painful. But it's a weird one, nerve damage, because I'd say it's not real pain, but it is real pain, isn't it?
Oh, it's really strange. I think most people too, maybe not all, but like my shins are pretty much damaged. I don't know if anyone else gets that. Can you like feel your shins from just pedal strikes? I know it's not similar to what you've just said, really.
I can, but
I've got
pretty haggard.
Yeah, pretty haggard. I can't feel anything. Like, you can literally,
really?
Yeah, you can just hit them, do whatever. Most of my shins is numb, and around my knees as well for some reason. Don't know why. My knees are just numb. Yeah,
bit of a scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah,
nerves? Yeah.
Nerve damage is not cool at all.
No, I know Rach had a hard time with her shoulder. She's had like shoulder surgeries, and she had like a nerve problem.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it does, but either numbness or extreme pain, it doesn't even matter as long as you have nerve damage. You know it's there. It's like it's got to be a nightmare. Like,
and that's what Elon reckons he can fix with the new Neuralink.
Really?
Yeah. When he was on that.
Through that then.
That's like asking this can of Dr. Pepper to explain Neuralink to you.
so misunderstood.
So basically, it's going to be like an implant which goes in your skull. So they'll take out a little section of skull, put this implant in there, and then from what I understand, don't take this as gospel, there's like little wires which come off it, which plug into receptors in your brain. So if you've had, if you're got anything damaged in your brain. So if you've got Parkinson's or nerve damage, I guess maybe not actually thinking about it. Anything that basically goes through your brain.
Yeah.
Where your brain isn't sending the right signals, they'll be able to turn those signals. Parkinson's, they'll be able to turn those signals back on, which is just crazy. Dude, that whole episode was gnarly when he's talking about the things that he'll be able to do with that Neuralink thing. And it's not even that far away. It's like 5 years or something.
A bit scared of that, I think.
Yeah. You'll be able to like talk to people without actually, because there'll be implants in your brain, you'll be able to talk to each other without saying words. Stuff like that. I don't even know if is that even talking. I don't know.
MSN Messenger kind of
Communicate,
thing. Like, poke people.
Yeah, ASL.
Weird thought, isn't it? I'm not down for messing with my my brain. I don't think.
Nah,
I think
me either.
I'll wait till Mark 5 before even considering.
Yeah, who's going to be the first trial? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I bet there's people queuing.
If there's people queuing to go to Mars, there's people queuing for that, right?
Interestingly, my mum got invited to do COVID-19 testing.
Really?
She got a letter through the post, and it was like they want to test the test kind of thing. So she's she's said yes to that. So
I didn't even know,
I don't know what
until just the other day that you can just go and get a test. I didn't know that.
No, there you go. Is that the antibody test? So you can tell if you've had it?
No, you can only tell if you've got it.
Okay, got
yeah,
it.
You could drive up. So they're doing it up at Doncaster Airport up by me. You drive up, it's £100, I think. £100. Yeah, and then you sit in your car. They call you on your phone. They give you a test. You do it yourself. You put it in a bin on the way out. You leave, and then the next day you get a text telling you if you've got it or not.
Man, isn't it strange? Isn't it strange?
Yeah, but I guess we've not really done any coronavirus talk, thankfully. But I guess they've lifted the whole thing a little bit because you went out riding with Bren, right? So you're allowed to ride with one other person from a different household.
Yeah, but I could go with Bren, then I can go with another friend, and I can go with another friend as long as there's just two up.
Yeah.
Do you know what, dude? I'm fully up for just sticking with what they say, because then it just means you're sucker free. You can just relax and know that you're doing, I don't know,
doing all you can. Yeah. Just sticking by the rules.
I feel weirdly like I say, through all of this, I've never been a goody-goody, but I feel weirdly like being a goody-goody and giving it a best shot. I'm just so not up for it going on any longer than it has to. Yeah.
No, I'm with you as well. It's like, and I've had, I guess, the same, as naive as I act, because I am pretty naive, but I've had the same outlook from the start. Like, I'll just do what I'm sort of told, which is whether I'm a sheep or not. And I'm a little bit skeptical about the whole thing. I am skeptical 100%. Like, you hear things, you see things, whatever, and you start thinking, but fucking hell, but what can I physically do about it right now other than just comply and just do what we have to do so we can get our freedom back? That's it. And if it means you only be able to go riding with one person, then that's just is what it is.
Just do it for a bit.
Who needs to complain? You can go for a bike ride. You're not sat in hospital bed, so
the rules aren't made for you. They're made for everyone.
Yeah.
Like each and every one of us isn't important, but our actions really are. I don't know. Yeah. I think it'd be probably quite funny to go back and listen to our first podcast and just see what our thoughts were then, because I can't really remember.
I can't actually, and it's been quite a while now. I mean, this is episode 10. Yeah. I wouldn't have thought we'd have got to 10, if I'm honest. I really didn't.
No, you thought 8, didn't you?
I thought 8, yeah, and you thought 9. Nobody's guessed 10. But I don't know. It just seems like when are we going to get to that freedom ride? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
No, I don't know.
But it is what it is, like you said.
To it.
You said on the message the other day, which was really nice. You were just like, look, it is what it is, and we're just going to carry on going. I was like, it's cool. That's nice. I'm glad you've got that outlook. Because have you had any rumours of trips coming up? I know, cause I was thinking about it the other day. Like Audi 9s is back on September.
Yeah, apparently so. I think. I've got things lined up that I've just said yes to, as you know, as we all know, I'm a yes man. So, but obviously at this point, there's no point in not being. You want to just say I'm completely up for it if it's possible, So I've got quite a cool one in Aosta Valley, which I think is Italy. I could be wrong. I'm revealing myself as very dumb. But yeah, I've got one there anyway, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
That I said yes to the other day. I just don't know. No. I say yes to all of it. And these street races, they're meant to be happening, and so I've said yes to those. They're meant to be happening late in the year, which sounds more possible, But
yeah, it does. Do you feel like months seem really short all of a sudden? Because you're just like, September, and you're it's only September, but then really that's 4 months away. But it just seems short. We'll be there in no time. I don't know. Time's definitely going very strange at the moment. It's very, very strange time.
It is, isn't it? It is hard, because I appreciate that whilst I'm saying all this, it's pretty pointless. Even what I've just said, I go on a ride with just one other person, and I'm going on 4 rides a day with with 4 different people, but I'm following the rules, you know.
Yeah.
But equally, that seems almost a bit silly. Like, why don't we all just go together? But I think what that does when you all go together. Okay, first of all, I'm not worried about getting it myself. I'm worried about spreading it, and that's I think right from the very start has been my outlook on it, which I think is good because I think there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either be like, oh, fucking hell, don't come near me. I don't want to get it off you.
Yeah.
Or you can be like, sorry, I don't want to give it to you.
Yeah.
And I think out of those 2 options, I know which one I prefer if someone's being weird with me.
Yeah, definitely.
I prefer the one where they're being, you know, sensitive to the situation and they're trying to not... I don't know, I just think it's a better outlook. It makes it a bit healthier.
Totally.
But what I think, going back to the group rides thing, I think if you go out in a big group ride, you pass, say, a dum-dum, and the dum-dum sees group of 4, and he was thinking about having a garden party. When you see that group of 4, then he's going to think, well, fuck it, they're doing it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And just that spreads it in itself like a virus. Then all of the people that come to his garden party, they're all going to have garden parties.
True. Yeah.
And then before you know it, one of them has this stupid shit virus that just makes him a bit ill. And then he ends up transferring it to old Marge down the street, who actually ends up dying from it. Like, I just hate the idea of that, and I think that's a better way to be than worried about other people giving you germs.
Yeah, totally. Well summed up. So, you know, the last episode when we were talking about, like, bit of negativity and stuff?
Yes. And I'm feeling positive today, can you tell?
Mate, we're all positive right now.
Woo!
But a few people have been moaning that we've not had any women on the podcast.
There you go. Yeah,
right.
They'll find something. Yeah.
So,
all right, yeah.
So, I lined up a secret guest.
Nice, dude.
And I've not told you about it, but if you want to do a drum roll, then they're gonna join very shortly, hopefully, as a surprise guest for you.
Oh, nice. I'm quite excited.
Who could it be?
I don't know who it could be. Ha! I know who it is. It's another Claire. In a calorie weekend.
Spreading some gnarly trails on my Eve.
Mum, stop it, man. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Come on.
I knew it.
You said gnarly and E.
I said gnarly and E. And epic.
Oh, epic's nasty.
How
are you, mother?
That's you speak. You can't beat embarrassing your children with you.
You can't embarrass me. I'm unembarrassable.
You are. I know. It was a problem for me working out how to embarrass you, and I couldn't really do it. That was as good as...
Well, I've just tried my best.
Davi's trying to embarrass me as well. I was going to ask about the guest because I thought maybe I was meant to have organised one. But it's brilliant having you on the podcast. Fantastic.
Here I am. You know.
So for those listening, Ollie's mum, Claire has joined us.
Yeah, calorie. She goes by the name Calorie.
Calorie.
So I change all of what I do is I go on the computer and I change all of Mum's like orders and deliveries to instead of it being Clare Wilkins, I change it to Calorie Wilkins, and that's given me honestly. I tell you what, that's given me a good lifetime of joy every time a parcel turns up and it says Calorie Wilkins. I really enjoy that.
You know what I did to my mum when I was young? You remember the League of Gentlemen?
Yes.
Do you remember Tubbs?
Yes.
I changed her badge for her like work badge to a picture of Tubbs, and she had it on there for ages, like years.
Do you
she had no clue it was
there. It's a really old thing to do. I did this to my mother, Barbie, my Ollie's grandma, years and years ago. We put loser on her head, and she went round the shops and everything. So, you know, that's been going on forever and ever.
That's so good. Yeah, but you got done as well. Like our grandpa used to make Mum stand by a statue of a lion. He used to make her, every time we went past it, he'd make her stand and make a wish, and she'd have to put her finger up the lion's bum. So she'd be stood there, this dear little young Clare Wilkins would be stood there with her finger up a lion's bum making a wish. Isn't that right?
It is. It was actually at his place as well. And he would set us up, my brother and I, to do this. And he'd say, you know, shut your eyes and put your finger up and everything. And he would just go the other side of the lobby. And there we were. These little
That's so good.
Yeah, it was bad.
Hey, another good story about mother's father, or my granddad. So he makes potions. So he makes potions in his garden. And these can include milk, cheese, cabbage, anything that smells really bad, right? Yeah. So he makes these potions. He doesn't just mix them in, he lets them ferment. So this is a long game. You've got to bear in mind, he plans this like weeks and sometimes months probably in advance, until he takes the lid off and he smells it and he thinks, that's a really bad smell. at which point, he'll arrange a visit to go and see his darling daughter, Clare Wilkins. And he'll go and find a warm spot and he'll hide this in the house with the lid off. How good is that?
Yeah.
That's quality.
He did it to his friends as well. You know,
that's brilliant.
To do it to his friends.
Oh, I've got one more Grampy story before I shut up. But Grampy also, come Halloween trick or treat time, he covers cod liver oil tablets in chocolate.
Oh,
and leaves them on the door.
He did do that.
And he used to do it to us, didn't he? He used to do it to us.
Yeah,
he leave them around the house, and he knew that we were little vultures.
Right.
And I remember just
that is
biting
amazing.
This lovely chocolate raisin and the taste of cod liver oil tablet.
It was good. It was good.
It was good, wasn't it?
Man.
Yeah.
So this is a long-running thing in the Wilkins family, the little jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's bad, isn't it?
I think
it is
you
bad.
Take yourself too seriously in life, you know.
It's
true.
Yeah, it's good to chill, isn't it? But it's good. It is good. Hey, Mum, have you been out on your bike?
Actually, no, because I've been to work today, so not. I haven't, but I have recently. Yeah. I went up to Thursley on Sunday.
Nice. So Mum's got an e-bike.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Is it
all over the place?
Focus e-bike?
Well, now you come to mention it, it actually is.
On brand.
It is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm like doing it for the old people. You know?
Yeah. No, you should see her. People keep thinking she's Sam Pilgrim because she just shouts "E-bit" as she pedals across. Do you know the worrying thing about Mum? Mum's not focused on distance. She's focused on top speed. So anytime she goes for a ride, I get the I got 47 Ks today. And I'm like, well, that's all right. Good going. 47 K an hour.
It's just one hill. I like to go down it really, really fast. That's all.
There you go.
Awesome.
You get it. Finally, you understand me after all these years.
I think I'll probably stop when I fall off, actually.
You'll be all right. If Ollie did that, he'd be done by now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
There'd be no career.
Yeah, and I'd like to take this opportunity to formally thank both the NHS and Clare Wilkins for taking me to the hospitals quite so many times for a number of different things. For instance, one of them, this is just to give you an example, I over-rotated a 360, one bum cheek hit the ground, the other one carried on, and I tore my anus. And the next time I defecated, I used the wipe, because I keep my whistle clean, and there was blood on the tissue.
This is not one for me.
This is what you get, Mum. You try and surprise me. This is what you get.
I'll see what I did.
Go on.
I found a picture of you. Do you remember when you got that? It was like a tennis ball on your head. You hit your head, and we would take you to the A&E because we had something a bit more fun going on.
Yeah, I do.
And you went to school that week, and it went all down your face, all black eyes and all that.
Whoa.
Yeah. Should we carry on with sort of different sort of abuse things that I went through when I was younger, or should we not bother? Should we leave it at that?
I think we should be. No, it was all good.
It's all good in the end, isn't it? It's all good in the end.
All good in the end.
Amazing. So Claire, I'm going to call you Claire because Clary doesn't seem right since we've only just met. Although, Ollie, we've been exchanging messages through Facebook to get this set up.
You sly dog slid into the DMs.
tight. We exchange secrets about you and all that.
we do now for sure. Oh man, and your brothers have helped get this set up as well. So yeah, Henry.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, cheers for that as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and yeah, I figured, dude. So many people were asking, why aren't you had a lady? Why don't you have a woman on the podcast? I was like, well,
there we go.
There you go.
Who better than get Ollie's mum on?
I'm nearly one.
No, it's the best possible scenario here.
I think you probably stop qualifying after a certain age, don't you? But anyway.
What do you mean? What?
I think you're still a woman.
Yeah, don't worry, Mum. You're still a woman.
Okay.
Hang in there.
You'll know when it changes. Jeez. Oh man.
Brilliant.
So, do you remember?
Bees.
Oh yeah, bees. Yeah, we talk about bees if you want. I know you're a big bee enthusiast.
I'm not going to talk about bees. No.
Why wouldn't you talk about bees?
No, I do
Why
keep.
wouldn't you?
Bees are fascinating, aren't they? Bees are legitimately fascinating.
That's the wrong forum for bees, really.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know how to. I can't just start talking about bees. It can't be just like. Whoa.
No.
What is the
all right,
what's the one
easier.
fact about bees which is mind blowing that everybody should know?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, but what about this? Because you've told me many things that I've forgotten because I've hit my head too many times. But all bees are born the same, right? And then they go into different chambers and they get given different food. Is that correct? So let's say...
Not really, no.
There we go. There's a nice little bit of interesting fact from me.
They do decide they decide when they need to make some men. They're all women. And they decide when they need to make some men because that's when their queen needs to... She needs to swarm and they need to make a new queen. And then the queen goes up and mates with all the men from the same area. And that is it. That is her only flight of her life. And then she comes back to the hive. She's fully jam-packed with eggs for the rest of her life. And they get rid of the men after that. So they don't need them.
Go. There we go.
They're not so good, the men. They don't feed themselves and they don't collect food.
Hey, don't they feed them royal jelly, though, the queens? Isn't that a thing?
Make queen, they do, yeah.
Yeah.
They do. Mm.
And what's that high in? Protein?
I don't know. Sorry.
You're some kind of bee expert, aren't you? What a load of shit.
It's that's what I talk about because it's bullshit.
Has there been a decrease in bee population since mobile phones?
Everybody talks about there has been because of chemicals and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they're carrying on.
They're carrying on, aren't they? My friend's got some bees up the road. He has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fascinating. They're amazing things. They're amazing how they'll fight with each other, different colonies too, won't they, for space and stuff like that.
And the queens fight when they make a new queen. Instead of just making one, because that's putting all your eggs in one basket, they make a number of them, and then first one out kills the other ones.
No
there
way.
You go. Nature, man. It's not nice, is it? It's not pretty.
And also, bees can actually make a ball around either a queen they want to kill or an invading hornet or wasp or something. They ball them and they raise the temperature to the point where they fry them, and that's it.
No way.
That is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. So have you got bees at your house too?
We do. We have bees in the garden.
Oh, wow.
I feel a bit embarrassed about my bees at the moment because they're not doing very well. I lost one colony and the other one is really limping along. But it's okay. It's building up now. The queen is laying and it should be okay. But I've really seated my pants. Nearly lost them this winter.
Jeez.
Davey, I'll tell you what. We'll get some honey over to you. That can be organised, can't it?
We will.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll get you some honey, man.
Honey.
Some Milford honey.
Lovely. And you're meant to eat honey, aren't you, from where you from the local area, because that stops you from getting hay fever and all sorts of medical things.
Yeah, it is. It's good for. They think it's good for allergies and stuff.
Allergies, yeah.
So our bees probably
slap it on wounds and things.
There you go. fantastic. Our bees actually get pollen from the trails, I like to think. I like to imagine them around the heather, around the trails.
Yeah. They go 3 miles in search of food.
Do they? 3 miles?
Yeah. You imagine for a bee. And also, if you look at their legs, all covered in pollen, very heavy. They do a fantastic job. They come back. I don't know how they even flew.
Hey, let's give it up for bees.
Yes.
Let's give it up for bees.
Yes.
Bee appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
A bee
appreciation.
A mother appreciation, for sure.
Yeah, mother appreciation, yeah. Give it up for...
Mother bee. For the mothers all around the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Behind every good man is a good mother.
Man, that was a brilliant surprise.
Actually, some are bad mothers, and the men are better because of the bad mother behind them. That's another take.
And here we have it.
I can't say all mothers are good mothers, because some are bad.
Awkward, because a perfect example is on screen. So.
Oh, how rude! How rude.
You set yourself up for that one, Mum. You set yourself up.
I remember when you drove back with broken shoulders and concussion, and you drive, and you said to me, "Mum, you'll have to park the car," and I did it for you.
It did.
Yeah. This whole episode's been about you crashing.
That's a good mother does that.
Well, it is actually so bad because I didn't even tell Mum quite the extent before I got back. So it was in Gloucester, and I knocked myself out for 5 minutes, which is 5 minutes is no joke. Like if you're asleep for 5 minutes, dead to the world for 5 minutes, it's like actually that's scary. So and then I woke up and I was really, really gone, and went to the hospital, and I left all of my worldly belongings in the hospital. Like a backpack with like my wallet, everything in. And then me and Sam Reynolds drove back with a giant ramp on the back of my VW Caddy and had to do every gear change. But I would have been loopy. I would have been it must have been the most boring car journey ever. Like 2.5 hours of the guy saying the same 3 things over and over again.
2.5 hours? I thought you were going to say that you drove round the corner.
No, idiot. Yeah.
Idiot. Straight up. Idiot.
Yeah, big time. Oh, well, what can you do?
Not good.
No. I wasn't brought up well, so I can't really be held accountable for these things. I didn't know what I was doing.
Very well brought up, and he rode from an early age. He rode from really just after he could walk.
I know. I've seen Ollie. I've got some family photos to share too on Instagram.
Of you with a real Kardashian ass nappy bum on your bike.
With pants.
I've got it. Shit. I've got it, Ollie. I've got it.
Oh, any other nice surprises? Jeez, honestly.
This is your life.
This is the stitch up episode.
You were talking on the last one about picnics, and I thought.
I can't believe you even listened to this rubbish.
So good.
Honestly, I listened, and I'd heard about how you were doing lists and crossing stuff off just to pretend you know. I know where you got that from.
You do that.
I do that. Yeah. You've got to add at least 5 that you've already done on your list.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Makes you feel proactive, doesn't it? Puts a spring in your step.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Right. That's right.
I like that. Well, thank you for joining us, Claire. It's been
I have one more question, actually.
Oh, of course.
Can I ask you, do you think that it's premature, me getting into merch now? Now I'm out there.
You going to do beekeeping merch?
I'm hoping you'd give me some advice about me.
Oh, ask Ollie. He's all about the merch. It's not my game.
Let's do it. We need a t-shirt. We need a Clare Wilkins t-shirt.
How about keep being awesome?
Hey.
No, I love it because you did the bees and it's incredible.
Such a creep. Oh, dear. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being open to coming on.
To hang up, so I'm coming to next conversation.
It's the red button.
The red button.
Keep coming back.
Mum's actually. We've actually linked up to Mum through Chat Roulette, which is a different application.
I might just bounce back and interrupt all the time.
Who knows? You're always welcome. Just don't lock the room and I'll be in,
Thank you very much for having
Thank
me.
you. If you ask Henry, I think he'll be able to just end the thing for you, if that's okay.
Henry's hand's coming.
Oh, he's there, look. What a guy.
Bye.
Thank you.
That was a fantastic surprise.
Did you like that?
Thoroughly enjoyed that.
I thought you'd like that a little bit.
Do you know, I was actually thinking, who the fuck's he got, you know? Who on earth has he got? But and of course he's got Clare Wilkins.
Yeah. So there we go.
Brilliant. Cheers, dude. Loved it.
I was genuinely, a few people messaged me like, you need to get a woman on the podcast, and I was like, you are actually right. Like, it has been a bit of a sausage lockdown festival. It's almost been a sausage fest. So, and I thought, who? Ollie's mum.
Well,
there we go.
Davi.
Made it happen.
That's well good. Brilliant.
I need to apologise.
She's natural on camera. Jeez.
She's amazing. She's been
she's
so funny
enjoying
throughout the whole like trying to set this up. And I've got to ask you about this story, dude, because it really, really tickled me.
Please.
I was messaging with your sister.
Oh, come on, dude. My mum and my sister.
Wait. There's a reason. There's a reason.
Okay.
There's a reason.
Sliding all over the DMs.
There's
dude.
a reason. She's kind of hot. No, the reason is, I was trying to get hold of your mum basically, and I was like, right, I went Henry, and then Oscar, and then Vicky.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to get hold of her. No one was replying. So anyway, I was exchanging messages with Vicky, and I was like, oh, have you got any funny stories about growing up?
She's good. Hey, dude, I don't know who you were talking to because my sister's name's Lucy.
Is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Lucy.
Oh, it might be her online thing. It might be Sticky Vicky. Her online thing might be Sticky Vicky.
And she told me this story
anyway,
about what was it? Stunt baby. And honestly, I was crying, dude. And she only typed it out in a message, and I was crying. I was crying.
Okay, so the story is basically my poor, lovely sister has 3 older brothers, and at some points in life, maybe that was a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
You've got 3 older brothers, you know, no one's going to mess with you, etc. Also, it's a very male environment, that is, isn't it?
Very.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And we're into cars, sports, fighting, climbing trees, mud pies, making dens, and she's realistically not into those things. No. She's into baby dolls.
Yeah.
So she had a baby, and we wanted to obviously join in with her game, and so we decided to call it Stunt Baby, and we would launch it up trees, we'd swing it on roads. Poor little Lucy's like 7 years younger than me.
Oh, really?
So,
right.
Yeah, so poor Lucy's just having this her prize doll.
She said it could never feel pain because its name was Stunt Baby. So funny. So funny. Dude.
Oh, man.
That had me in stitches. That had me in absolute... And I was just reading it. I was like, I can't believe this. So good. I feel like part of your family this week. It's kind of funny.
Brilliant. Right, I need to stitch you up now then. Right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, what I can use the internet too.
Well, tried. Yeah. I mean, good luck.
Oh no! I'm being challenged here. I'm going to try and find some weird, like, second aunt well into conspiracy theories or something.
Yeah. There'll be one. Oh, man. There you go. There you go. Right.
Oh, brilliant. Cheers for that. What a treat. I was looking forward to seeing my mum.
Yeah, well, no one's getting to see the parents enough, are they? So.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we've got another guest as well.
Have we?
Yeah, this is a bit of a bumper episode.
I thought that was just going to be the Clare Wilkins.
You, Uncle Larry. Larry Wilkins.
Oh, right. Brilliant.
So let me add him to it. So our next guest is world-renowned mountain bike photographer, Boris Beyer. Mad Dog.
Yes!
I told you we were having
Boris.
I told you we were having Boris on, no? Or did I not?
No, you didn't. You told me it was a maybe, but I'm stoked.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Coming on.
Oh, so yeah, we got Boris too. So we'll invite Boris, do another
half
an hour or something, and then we'll We can do some dope or note with him too, I guess.
Oh, mate, I'm loving this episode. It's fantastic. You're a fucking hell of a host, dude.
Why, thank you, sir. Why, thank you. I try my best. It's...
Boris! Wie geht's, mein Lieb?
I just finished my cigarette. So,
how are you, dog?
I already did a quick check with Davi before.
I'm also doing a bit of
Should I sit closer like you, or is it?
Oh, a little closer would be good, actually. It's kind of low. Try and come a little bit in if you can.
I forgot my headphones. 1 second.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah,
man.
get your headphones. Man, I dread to think what Boris has been up to in this lockdown. You know.
No,
I bet have you been tattooing yourself?
No. I haven't been. I haven't got a new tattoo. Wait.
Hey, that's a good question.
I was afraid that it's just like a fireball from iPhone, but I have a proper one.
Legend. How many jet skis would it cost to get a 23 on your face?
Me.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's a difference.
Dude,
So,
I can't. This jet ski thing's got out of control. Let me tell you. Sorry, Boris.
Sorry,
Boris.
Boris.
We'll get this out of the way. Mate, I don't even like swimming. I don't like water. I don't like noise. The idea of a jet ski is like a thing that goes in. It's the equivalent of having a micro scooter in an endless car park. It's like maybe one of the worst ideas, but what a jet ski represents is the ultimate freedom, and that's what and success and freedom.
Yeah,
and that's where my interest in jet skis.
Yeah. So many people have bought the merch now, dude, and have signed up to this. You've made your own bed for this jet ski.
I know.
With this logic, Rob Warner is the only person I know who has the success and the freedom because he's the only one owning a jet ski.
I know, right? And Warner's so amazing at anything with an engine.
Yeah,
you know, like those stand-up ones aren't easy. I talked to so Brendan and Sam went and rode jet skis with him for this GoPro thing.
Yeah,
and they said it was so hard.
Yeah, they're not easy to ride at all.
And especially this stand-up thing, you know, when you have to like it's more like motocross when you have to move more. Yeah,
because it goes up, down, and sideways or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine riding a motocross bike that had no seat and you stood on the swing arm. That's what you're working with.
Isn't it? Yeah, I don't know what one I'll end up with. It's realistically going to look like a wheelbarrow, I reckon, but we'll give it a go.
How far is the next lake away from you?
I don't even know where I can do it. Hey, are you in Wuppertal at the moment?
Yeah.
So you could jet ski down there. Okay, so Boris lives in a magical land, far away land. Out of Deutschland, that means Germany, in a place called Wuppertal. And in Wuppertal...
Have you been?
Yes, I have been, to visit my dear friend Boris. In Wuppertal, there is what's it called, a sky rail?
Sky train, something, a Schwebebahn. It's like...
Schwebebahn.
Yeah. It's like you know these new sky trains they have in China or somewhere with like the rails are on the top and the train is hanging underneath?
Yeah.
And this is from 100 years ago or something. They rebuilt it. They have a bit new wagons, but the old metal structure is like, I don't know how many years old, like 70 or something.
It's incredible. So it's an A-frame, and this A-frame goes above the river, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called the Wupper. This is like Wuppertal means actually Wupper Valley. So the whole city is not like a circle. It goes through. It follows the Wupper, the river.
Yeah.
So it's more like.
I never knew that.
Yeah. There were like little villages before. They put it together to call it like a city, and now it's like a long, like it's a long line, and this metal structure, this A-frame goes all the way from one end to the other, and the train is going back and forth. So there's no circle or something. So actually, your riding is hard. You can ride in the bottom, so it's flat, but also the other sides is like it just goes up and downhill.
So Bozza, if I imagine I got a jet ski, right?
You forgot the story about the elephant.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
But imagine I got a jet ski,
yeah,
and I bought it to Wuppertal,
yeah,
my one at the magical land of Wuppertal, and then you were in the sky train,
doing pans,
and we get the best pan shot you've ever seen.
That would be
with a string vest and a cigar on the.
But I think in the winter the water would be high enough, in summer not. But in general, Red Bull is all doing all these sick stuff. It would be like one of these wakeboard when they do it on the rope, not like like I don't know how it's called.
Cable ski.
Yeah, but like on an engine, it's not above or something. They can put it everywhere.
Like a winch.
A winch. Yeah, exactly. So that would it would look so cool. For summer, I think it's a bit low. We thought about there's one area, and we were sitting there after a ride having a beer, and we thought about like in Munich, this constant wave in the river. Munich has like a surf spot in the city.
Yeah, I've been there. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're pretty special. You're not allowed. There is something on the internet that Kelly Slater wasn't allowed to surf there.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, they're like I don't want to say the German word for
local.
Yeah.
But they're pretty strict.
Hey, what stops a swan from just swimming down there and just getting stuck in the wave?
What again?
Imagine a swan, one of the Queen's finest birds. Yeah, the swan. Yeah, and it's just coming down, and then it just gets stuck in the wave in the barrel.
That's cruel.
Yeah. Like, what would we do? We'd have to chuck bread into the barrel.
Try and part the sea.
You have to come with a jet ski and save it.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
Animal rescue.
Actually, there's the one in Munich has so much water, so it's like a big wave. But we thought, like, why we not just steal a digger and like put big rocks in there to make like from wide to narrow, so it has enough power. Because in Munich they put like a railway, they fix it on the ground. This is what creating the wave. It's a metal plate with something on it, so this is creating it. But I think the water, because I started surfing, so I wanted to have a wave. But I think the Wupper is like too mellow.
Surfing's so cool. I love surfing. I can't do it for shit, but I just love the idea of going surfing. And then you go out there and you're like, almost drowning, and it's just the worst.
Exactly. I started 2 years ago. Like when because I'm so long away traveling, and then I'm coming back home in the winter. Sven is going to New Zealand, so he has summer, but I'm coming back home to miserable German winter. And I just booked a flight on my own to Bali. Stayed in the chill house for 2 weeks, and went surfing every morning for sunrise. And this is my new winter routine. So and then we went to, after my first surf trip, I came back, bought a board from a buddy. 10 hours I was back in Germany. It's way too small, but I wanted to have it. And then we went to Morocco. Luckily he bought 2 longboards because I couldn't surf the small one. And then we went to Portugal with the whole van, not the whole, but with Eddie, with a pivot team, with Sven, Anka, which was pretty cool. But also when we did the board rental, we were online, and I sent Sven the link to the board I wanted to get, and he was like, no, get smaller, you can do it. And I was like, okay, I will get a smaller one. Haven't got a single wave. The board was way too small. Same for Anka. She also listens to Sven.
Sven's such a gangster. People don't realize Sven had a signature board. Sven's like a skateboarder. He was a pro skater.
I didn't know that.
When Sven posts photos of him,
it's crazy.
It's like in another life, isn't it? It's so
wow.
Cool.
Also in the pits, the moment he sees a skateboard, he has to show off some tricks. It's like it's a classic.
Wow, I can see him being like a Rodney Mullen sort of character, like loads of flip tricks and stuff like that.
But he has his own Santa Cruz signature board. It's pretty cool. It hangs on his wall.
That's incredible.
That's ultimate cool.
Yeah.
That's ultimate.
Dude, it must be weird for you, Boris, because like you just touched on, everything is weird. Yeah. No, but at the moment must be weird because you end up traveling. You're on the road really more than even the pro riders I know who are on the road the most. You're on the road. You live like out of a bag most of the time, huh?
207 days last year.
Really?
Yeah. We spoke about this earlier because we had a bit of a quick call just to make sure everything was working. And
it's a new record. It was a new record. All the years before, with the magazine, it was always already a lot. It was 120, 140. But then when I quit with the magazine, became full freelance photographer, I went up to 189 and 192, and then last year 207.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah,
that's a lot of time away.
Does that mean you're tax free? Because I know you're a smart guy. Does that mean you're tax free? You're dodging, aren't you?
No. I'm too afraid. Seriously, when I was with the magazine, I did some tax stuff wrong. You know, they were like, oh, because the salary was so low. So they said like, oh, you can do it on your own. It's easy. And I did a mistake, and then I got a letter from the tax government. Yeah, you owe us 20 grand. And I was like, what? What the fuck? They was like, they just guess you. They not, you know, like they have the right to guess what you actually made. It's not without even have the papers. They guess you. They can guess it. And then my tax guy checked it, and it ended up it was just 4 grand I had to pay. But since then, I'm my tax specialist my accountant is doing everything proper. I put everything in there. I'm way too afraid. This is like seriously, it's my biggest fear of my business. Everything is working, but I'm not that good in like putting everything in folders and all like. But I put everything in to my tax specialist, and I'm fucking way too afraid. My buddy told me that he. Because he lives in Chamonix, that he's kind of a tax nomad or something. I don't know how it works, but I'm too afraid. I prefer Germans. Someone told me years ago, it's easier in Germany. It's easier to kill someone and get away than to make tax fraud and get away.
No way.
Yeah, because it's never, you know, even after 20 years they get you. It's crazy. So nope, I'm paying everything.
So David, do you know much about Boris's story?
We did a podcast. How many years ago was it?
Oh man,
you've already covered it then.
Yeah, we did like a full probably. It's one of the longer episodes I've ever done, actually. It was probably 4 hours. If anyone wants to scroll down, you'll be able to find it. But yeah, we did a full episode a while ago, but we've not really spoken since, have we? Not properly. And then when I seen, you know, on Instagram the other day, you know, we exchanged messages. I was like, oh, he looks pretty bored. I'll see what he's up to. Here we are.
Yeah, no.
So, I know a little bit about Boris's story, yeah, but what part of it, Ollie? Is it the sort of the rent boy stuff you want to talk about, or?
No, I just think it's interesting. I think it's cool that you used to have a real run-of-the-mill job, and then now you're living like the dream job. This is like people's dreams, isn't it? You're traveling the world. Just different places, different locations, living out a suitcase, taking pictures. It's sick.
You have to love it. I think so many people think I'm getting a lot of messages about it, how cool it must be. It is, but you really have to love it and be passionate about it. It's like, have you guys seen the Maxis Crankworks thing? Maxis, you know, because they sent Chris Seeger to Canada to film me at Crankworks, so they made like
I saw it.
And it's no joke. Like I wait, you know, at Crankworks we wake up a bit later because everything starts a bit later. But I think I left the house at 9:30 or something, and I went to bed at 5 or 5:30. So you know, like when it looks from the outside, for sure it looks cool. We can hang out with the riders. We traveling the world. We are always at the, you know, like part of the scene, but I think it's also not everybody. You know, like I think our media crew are quite accepted by you guys, but you know, like it's I think sometimes I see other people coming to the scene, they maybe get a wrong feeling and they think they can walk in every pit and they like just hang out, but it's not like this. I think there's a bit more to it. So
how much planning do you do for, like, you know, you said you're away for 207 days a year. Is there a lot of that where you sort of stuck somewhere, don't know where you're going next, or is the whole time pretty much?
I never know where I'm going.
I know.
Now we plan, you know, like because I travel a lot with Sven and Dan Hearn, so we make a vague plan. So like for example, I just had to cancel my Portugal, Colombia, Chile flights, so we weren't that far ahead.
Right.
Then Sebastian Schick had to cancel the Airbnb or something, but it's not, you know, I know some teams, they do it for the whole year, but it's, you know, sometimes we have to split when there's an overlap, when 2 events happen at the same time. So, and then not like last minute, but then we have to decide what we're doing. Is like Sven is doing maybe for Lenzerheide last year. So I did Whistler on my own before, so I know I can handle it. But so Sven went to Lenzerheide with Dan, and I went alone to Whistler to cover the EWS. and Crankworks, which is quite tough. But it's involves planning. But when we are on the road, usually a bit of, 2-3 weeks, we know where we are going. And it's not like, sometimes you have to make adjustments. So if something is not working out, you have to book a new flight or something.
So you guys work almost like a
team. It's not like we don't share business.
No.
Every one of us has their own clients, but I think it's pretty unique. I think no one else is doing it. And it gives you can rely, when Sven broke his ribs in Whistler, when he fell down at Dirt Merchant of the new drop. There was actually also, I shot EWS alone, and he was supposed to arrive on Monday to shoot like Crankworks together. He shot something else before. And then on the second day riding, he fell off the drop. There was a new feature on Dirt Merchant, and he broke his ribs. So I covered him. And I think this is quite unique. I know he would do the same for me. So imagine you would be on your own. All the other photographers will maybe just wait that you can't do your job and they can take over your clients. It's not that bad. We're all kind of buddies. But I think in other businesses it would be like this. Like they just want you to fail because you have success and it's working. So once in Lenzerheide, and then Leogang Dan had the stomach problem for one day, so we covered him. And I think it's pretty cool to have friends. First of all, we are friends. I think, I'm not sure if you heard about Anka, Sven's wife, is calling me his summer wife, because actually I spend more time with Sven than she does at summer. And without him, I wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be how it is. And maybe I see some other people doing it. Also, they just do it on their.
Oh, he's gone.
Where did he go?
He didn't pay his tax, did he?
No, he's cut him off, haven't they? Put another 50, what do they have? Deutschmarks in the meter.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Yeah, sorry. I just got problems.
Der Wi-Fi is kaputt.
This WLAN is kaputt. Yeah, I was playing, and funny, I listened to the Clay Porter one before when you mentioned online gaming. Because I was playing Apex. It's also like a how do they call it when you just land and have to collect your weapons?
Is it? Yeah.
It's
so you
not
do PUBG stuff.
No. It's Apex Legends. It's like they have like Call of Duty, Apex. But I was playing, and then a connection it broke. So I just had this in lockdown because I think there were so many people online.
Yeah.
So then internet was, but since then nothing. And just an hour ago. Back to Sven. Yeah, without him, I would not do it. And I think how we sit. I can't imagine to sit there to 3 a.m. Working on pictures alone. There's so much fun shit talk in between us. Showing pics and all this stuff. And so I think it's very unique. And I think I would not see it as a lifestyle if it wouldn't be how we do it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think the reason that it works as well is because you can't just replace one of the people in your crew, really, can you? It's like it takes a really lot of years and a lot of experience to actually realise that someone can do that job. Because even if someone likes the idea of it, like you're talking about, and kind of like what I said, like the dream job, even the dream job has things attached that you don't necessarily think about when you start.
Yeah,
totally.
Like having that many days away from home sounds incredible. But I'm sure there are times when you could do with just washing some clothes and sitting down.
No. It was when we are on the road. It's the last year, the longest trip went 9 weeks back to back, I think. And
that's a stinker.
But now we're pretty, we're doing the washing and the whole thing. It works kind of. I don't know why. Maybe
has it got easier though as you've got a bit more successful, because no doubt you can now afford to have like an Airbnb on your own rather than
we stay together, but it's more like for example last year my new I got a Canon 1DX Mark I from Sven a few years ago as a thank you for all the help. It was helped me to start. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was my workhorse. Never had issues. Gave it to Canon. They just had to clean it. I got it back and it started having issues. So I could just, when I was back from that trip, I could just walk in a shop and pay $6,000 for a new camera without even thinking about it. This is more like the freedom, or like it makes you a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
It's not like having my own Airbnb. when I started with the magazine, 2012 or something, I was sleeping in the pits on the Atherton sofa.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, has it got easier doing those days away?
It's different because you couldn't do 9 weeks in back of trailers and having the cheapest flights flying all over the place just to go there. So for sure, that helps a lot. You know, like, but it's just like luxury.
Yeah.
It would be. I would do it. I did it before without making the money. You know, like it's not why I started it. I never imagined how it turned out, how it is now. That's why I also can be kind of relaxed sitting here in without work. I told you before, so I was like, I think if I would have just started doing this with like a little savings to survive one season and then live from the money you make at the end of the year, I would be fucked. You know, like now I had like 3 years that worked out, so for sure I want to shoot and it would be nice to earn some money, but I can just trying to make the best out of my summer. I told you before, it's my first spring and summer, full summer at home since 2012.
How crazy is that? Imagine being away from home like that whole time. It's strange.
Yeah, but like, I enjoy, you know, like I'm obviously not the relationship guy. My buddy's making jokes that I have off-season relationships, so it's like my season stops after Rampage. So actually, Ollie and the guys are the last guys I see from my summer family, and then I'm going in my off season. So then I have time for Tinder, and it always sounds good. I like all the world and all this stuff, but actually I know that it's just like limited. It just goes to my first trip, which is always New Zealand for Crankworks, and then you know, like last year it was like 4 when we went. Like it's hard. Maybe it was 2 years ago when we went to Colombia and Chile, and so it's like I haven't been to Chile, Colombia. So it's obviously not working in long term, but I don't really care. So this is like the price I pay, but I'm willing to pay it. I still have fun if I want to, but I can't put too much in a relationship.
From the outside, it seems like you and your crew are kind of the mafia bosses of the World Cup downhill. I don't know if you agree with this, but if you've ever been to a World Cup race, you'll hear there's so many photographers lining the course, and then you'll probably hear like maybe a South African voice. Certainly for the last 10 years, you'll hear a South African voice like, "Get out of my fucking shot, bro." And now I think you're probably starting to hear now, in the last 5 years, you're starting to hear, "Get out of my shot, man! What are you doing?" It must be cool to be like one of those boys.
Yeah.
I heard people saying that I actually got worse. You know, Sven has become a bit more calm. Now I'm the guy. Well, he's just maybe waiting for me because he know I will shout and I don't give a fuck if someone is getting angry. Imagine, you know, like you getting ready. Imagine you know, like you are on your dirt jumps. You know, like you just finished them building. You know, you're getting in your zone. You want to hit them. And someone walks in your line or like just drops in before you, what would you say? Would you say like, "Oh, you know, please, would you be so kind and please leave my line? I just build and I just want to hit it." So it's like you're so much zone. You're laying there, you know, like we are under. It's like the adrenaline level is so high, you know, like in training it's a bit different, you know, like because the rider's doing more laps, but you know, like you lay there and. Everything is set up, you know, your rider's coming, and then someone just walks in your shot, like just not paying attention. It's not that they do it on purpose. They just like look on the air or on the track, and they don't even notice you. So you're sitting behind a bush with your foreground, and it's just like it's a reaction. It's like a reflex. You can't like, you know, like. So I know it sounds hard, and people hate us for it. But
no, I think it's been interesting, like being friends with you boys and with Clay. I've got to see like actually how much work goes in. So a lot of people won't realise. They'll see these amazing pictures, but they won't realise that each of you has different clients and you have radios. So let's say you're shooting for Atherton bikes and G's coming down.
Yeah.
He's doing like 3 runs in practice, let's say, and then he's resting.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 runs to get shots, and you don't know what's going to happen in qualifying or in finals.
Yeah, exactly.
So in these 3 runs, you hear on the radio, G on course. And Boris has got to get his shit together. And likely the photographer that walks in your way is probably from Val de Sol Council, and they're taking pictures for the monthly magazine with like a shit camera. So I'm not saying you guys are bad. I just think it's cool that you're like the boss is there.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody's doing it. I hope so. It's not just Sven and me who's shouting at people. I mean, like, some of the people are more
just
polite, polite and work their way around people. But it's also, I think, what you put into it. If you're in a shooting, or like you can motivate people, like it's a bit more like get shit done. Don't be like, like, I know when I was invited for press camps as an editor and also as a photographer, and it's just an example, but some editors, they're new to it. They think they are not good at writing. Some of them are not good writers, but I always try to motivate them, like to give it like a group feeling. It's not just like, I had one when I was an editor. Actually, one company asked me if they can change my flight and keep me for the second group of editors because of the group feeling. And I was like, seriously? It's like, so like they just enjoy. I never had this before. It was a special one. Back in the days, some companies invited me just to get me drunk because I did stupid stuff. Like a friend. It was a Scott Gambler press camp years ago. They had this, what is it, the knee pads, 3DO, D30.
Yeah.
And they gave it to us in a little metal box, and it was like chewing gum. And I thought, like, they did this finger thing, like put it around your finger with a hammer. I thought it's a fun idea to put it on the table and hit my head on it. But it got stuck in my hair, so we had to cut it out. And I think I still have a picture of, it looks like you have like this sticky thing with my hair on it, and I think I have a picture of Brendan wearing it. There's also reasons for it, but just be part of it, and you have to control the surroundings a bit.
Yeah.
I could just I care so much, I want to get the shot. So if my shot was perfect before, if you get everybody you don't really need, and then you just get the info. It's not just radio. One time, because also everybody wants to help Sven, so there's sometimes a line when Sven is a bit below, and the other photographers are just when Rachel told us, like, fuck, she's so over it. When she's riding down the track, everybody's shouting Sven, because Sven is shooting for the Editons. So it's like, fuck, it's like she rides down a track and the people are shouting, Sven, Sven, because they want to form him.
It must be so annoying.
But it's good to talk about, because I miss it so much, man. It's like, it's weird. It's I'm not sure where I would be now. I lost a bit track. But actually, I told Olly before that you have to cheer me up, because I'm mentally struggling a bit about the whole situation, because I function so much better with pressure, and if I have something to do, which doesn't give me too much space in my head for free thinking or to try to think what to do with myself.
Yeah.
I can shoot for 12 hours and sit there the whole night editing, and it's like I have a smile on my face. Yes, I had a rest day. I write a lot. I told Danny before, the last 2 weeks I wrote 11 days out of 14. So I think I will come very fit out of this. But on Sunday I had a rest day, and I was just laying on my sofa, and I felt so useless. It was I was like sitting there and like scrolling my phone, and then Instagram told me, like, you have seen everything, and it's like, okay, I haven't
completed it.
And it's like, fuck, it's I mean, it's good that I meet my buddies, and I will go on a road ride after this. Yesterday we went on a trail ride. Like the trails, we rode them, right?
Hey Boris, yeah. Of these last 11 days, how many days have you seen a tiger on the trail?
A tiger?
Yeah. We have tiger. So we can.
So have you actually seen the tiger?
Yeah, they are there. They're always.
Right, dude. So when I was in Wuppertal, to go back to this story, I'm going for a ride with Boris. Boris is like, dude, I want to show you the local trails. I really want you to like them. He's like fucking hyped on them. He really wants me to see all his local trails. So I'm obviously well happy. I'm really excited. He goes to me, by the way, we're going to see a tiger on the trail. And I was like, this is a long time ago. Boris's English wasn't as good. I was like, fuck, poor guy's fucking, someone stitched him up here. He thinks a tiger is. But I just went along. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, we'll see a tiger. Anyway, we ride down trails through the woods. We come up on this bridge thing. And he's like, stop, Olly, stop. Can you see the tiger? and I look over the edge of the bridge, and there's a fucking tiger looking at me. And like, honestly, the tiger's like, so the tiger's in this. After I find out, the tiger's in this zoo, but I didn't realise. But we're going on a bridge above the zoo, but we're in like the tiger's eye line, you know. So the tiger's got fucking dumb people in front of it all day, and it's sick of them. It doesn't even look at them.
Yeah.
But then when we go over this bridge, the tiger's like that.
No way.
It's just locked on. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, Boris's English is actually really good.
That seems cool. You see a tiger on your local ride, that's sick.
The same happened to Jobo and Seeger. They visit me like 2-3 years ago for my birthday. Actually, they had no idea that's my birthday, so they came over to Germany just to hang out for 3 days. And in the morning, while we had a massive hangover, we were sitting there. I went to the best bakery. He went to the best
fantastic,
bakery.
Brilliant, yeah.
Now best burger in the world, but this is another story.
Die beste Bäckerei, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Impressive.
Dude,
it's no.
Show me up.
But so when I went to the bakery to get the rolls and the bread, Hannah messaged Jobo about like, hey, where have you bought a present for Boris? And they were like, for what? It's like, oh, it's his birthday. So then they were sitting in my apartment and had no idea I was still living above the magazine. So, but also I told them like, hey, we will see tigers, and they were like, oh yeah, maybe a statue, or like, you know, like what the fuck is he talking about? And then we stopped, and there were the 2 tigers. So
no way.
And we have the
so
cool.
Do you remember the elephant story about Wuppertal?
Yes. Tell the elephant story.
Yeah, what is it?
I can't even remember, but basically it's linked with the sky rail, huh?
Yeah. So I think when you Google it, you can type in now Tuffy, Tuffi.
You on it, Ollie?
Yeah, I'm on it, dude.
Good lad.
Tuffy, and then Wuppertal, Wuppertal.
Jeez.
So there was, I think, in the 60s, 70s, there was a zoo, like a circus on tour, and they thought it's a good advertisement idea to put the elephant in the train to give him a ride, you know. But the elephant freaked out and broke through the wall and jumped in the water underneath. So
honestly, it's one of the craziest pictures you'll ever see. It reminds me of like a picture that you get on a big art print, you know.
Yeah.
It is an elephant falling out of an upside down train above a river. I mean,
wow.
Only in Germany.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have a quick look at that on my phone.
Hey Boris, do you know what number the carriage is?
What is carriage?
The train.
No.
13.
13.
Yeah. It's 13. It's number 13.
Yeah.
Train.
Bloody unlucky for Tuffy, isn't it? That is a hell of a photo, isn't it? That is one hell of a photo.
I'm not sure if it's fully real, but I think the story is real, because also there's a milk brand which have the name, used the name of the elephant for their brand, and I heard like the elephant died years later, peaceful in the zoo, not in the river.
Wow.
In traction.
No, it's brilliant.
Hey, do you know what, dude? You should get a custom helmet with that image on your helmet. That'd be really cool.
Buddy, you know, the guy who's doing the YT paint jobs for Rampage and like for Valley and stuff, he's living like 30 k's away. And you know Elmar from SRAM? Elmar? He's living together in the same house, and he's like he has a master degree in painting, like spraying. And he always offers me, because I just gave him the bike shots for free. You know, I don't want to make money out of him. And he was like, dude, I make you a custom paint show, and I still have to drop off my Fox open face for like a Best Pro Shop.
Yeah.
But I'm lazy. He always offers to me, but I always forget to drop it off.
Oh, dude, you should get a full face with Tuffy on there.
But I don't wear a full face helmet anymore. It's
just
like,
have it. Just have it though.
Just have it. It's a cuzzy job. Yeah.
Have it.
Have you seen my? It's like my helmet's there. Maybe you noticed.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You're
a real collector, aren't you, Boris? You've got all kinds of different jerseys and memorabilia and stuff. It's actually crazy, Davey, seeing Boris's collection. It's like
I remember we talked about that on the episode we did together, actually, like the long one. I do remember we talked about that.
I don't know how many jerseys. When I was with the magazine, they were in all the rooms, like on the wall. But now I just have my World Champs jerseys on the wall.
Just World Champs jerseys, so sick.
Some of them, I think, there in the corner. And but sometimes little bits, like I have the mudguard from Armory before he won. He had like a mudguard with like a pinup on it. And I got it the day before he won his first World Cup in Fort William. I have when Jerome Clemens won his first EWS title and the final was in Finale. I have the goggles from the podium and all this stuff. So little bits. I have the like the. I'm not sure if you can see.
Do you have any Olly Wilkins merch?
I still have my S4P hoodie, my jumper. I think it was never made in production. You remember the story that you were hiding them on the highway?
Yeah. That was funny, wasn't it? Yeah.
I still have it.
That was coming out of Fort William, was it?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that jumper. That was when we had like a proper little clothing company back then. Right. We did these like limited runs, and Boris had the sickest one. It just said sorry, didn't it?
No, S4P or sorry. I think so. I
think it just said sorry, and it was just like. As the perfect guy in the exact jumper.
Amazing.
I mean, I have S4P tattooed on my ass, and now you're telling me it's not existing anymore.
No, it's still going, man. You just need to get a jet ski one as well. That's all.
I have the tattoo on my ass, so that's.
What do you have? S4P?
Yeah. Sam Reynolds tattooed me also years ago. I was invited by Masters of Dirt to Vienna. Yeah. As an editor, and I did a story before. It's not it's not a contest, it's a show, so it's quite tough to produce something about it. And I can't remember the first story I did, but the second one we were talking about it, what to do, and the idea was party like a pro. So because I know the parties are legendary, and to give it a whole to round it up. So I thought it's not just like showing the tricks of which was going on. So I thought about to follow. Sam Reynolds and I had the idea to party like a pro, so I followed him around and we did fun pictures with him getting a massage for his drinking arm and all this stuff. And one part was that he gave me a tattoo. So, and the crazy thing is with Masters of Dirt, they have a line of tattoo on all these shows. I'm not sure in all, but in Vienna they have a line of tattoo artists, and for free you can get the logo,
right?
This plug the car, the electric. Mountain bike rider cover.
How to party backstage with the stars, their Masters of Dirt show.
No way.
That's brilliant.
Nice, dude.
And
God, we're getting slick at this.
That's good.
Props.
That's a good one.
Props. Everything.
And, the crazy thing is, this spark plug is in one of the car, right?
Yeah.
And the Masters of Dirt logo is a spark plug with a skull bunny on the top, and you can get it for free. When you just stay in line. And so many people, people think because I have my tattoos, it's oh, why you don't get one? It's fuck no, I would not get a logo of a show. But there was a chick with no tattoos, and she got it big on her belly, and I was holy shit.
You're gonna regret that one in the morning.
So we asked one of these tattoo guys if he would borrow us the gun, and usually it's not the easiest thing, but he was keen. And then Sam never done it before, and he tattooed my ass, so I have an S4P on my butt. And
hey, Boris, that's not the only tattoo he did either, is it?
Nah.
Yeah, because there was a girl there, and she wanted. So there's a girl there, and she wanted on her finger so that she could look sexy and and so obviously when you're getting that tattooed, you can't see what they're doing. You know, you have to just trust the tattoo artist. But Sam wrote "fuck" on her finger.
Yeah.
Nice.
She had to have it lasered off.
And when I got, because I've got mine done, I've got a mustache. And when I got the mustache done, the guy was like, "Oh, it'll only last a couple of years. You just wear it off because you're always moving your hands and whatnot." It is still as prominent today as the day I got that tattoo. It doesn't go anywhere. It will not go. And it's so embarrassing at times because that is my thinking. So if I'm in a meeting, for example, and I do this, if I'm thinking, and people are like, "What is this guy?"
I don't want to scare you, but maybe the Dirty Sanchez that Cedric always did, where it's actually coming from.
No.
Maybe Google it. I'm not sure. I think it's true, but it's not the. I'm not sure if you say "fuck" a lot, but it has a different background.
What actually is a Dirty Sanchez?
Okay, I heard.
Okay.
From the. I'm not sure. It's quite tough. I'm not sure if I should say like. It doesn't matter, right? We're not. You can cut it out.
Oh.
Do you found?
This is such a contrast. We had my mother on the show earlier on, and now we got Boris talking about dirty Sanchez's.
You found it. It's getting red now.
No, I think it is what I thought it was though, which is when a dirty Sanchez is an act where someone puts their finger into their partner's ass, then wipes any poo that may transfer onto their finger over that person's lip, resulting in a poo moustache. That's grim.
People are into some stuff, aren't they?
That's
wow, we were.
Wow, we were.
Okay, so
wow.
like, we had this. I had actually with a tattoo a few days ago. I met an ex, and when we were together like 3 years ago, she got a dick tattooed in her lip, and she also she thought, like,
classy.
Yeah, it was a special one. I think I'm not sure. I hope I didn't have the bad influence, because she also got some other weird tattoos, and she wasn't tattooed before. But it's still there, perfect. Like it's not worn out or something. So, but no, actually,
have you got any tattoos, Ollie? No.
Me, no, none.
I mean, not.
Nothing.
Have you heard of actually Luke Bruni? Like I saw a pink bike thing, and like. And they were asking like different riders same questions, and for the fear, and actually Luke said like, he wants to get a tattoo but he's too afraid. I can't imagine him with the tattoo. It would be fun.
Yeah.
Imagine like
how
full
weird
sleeve,
is it?
Full sleeve, like
Actually,
yeah.
Is it what people are afraid of? Like Loic goes so fast through horrible rocks, and then he's scared of getting a drawing. I'm scared of getting a drawing. I'm just scared I won't like it.
Yeah, but this, you have to forget, everybody thinking like, what do you think in 10 years? You should not get it out of situation. Like when I see people like with dates and like, you can always the name's kid on the forearm. It's nice that you have a kid and that you can't forget the name because you have it tattooed. But when you get your first one, you forget about it so quickly. It's not that like. I still like when I brush my teeth and I see my wiener dog. I still makes me smile, and don't overthink it.
What's your worst one, Boris? Honestly, what's the one that you think is like in your opinion is your worst tattoo? Because it's a pretty interesting
from which
collection.
From the quality, or like because I like all of them. It's nothing I would say like if I would do it now, like no, it's like quality wise.
What's the one that you look back on and you just think, whoa, I am actually quite crazy?
Okay. I mean, like to getting the Vegas baby on my head, but I would.
I forgot about that
one. I mean, like it was a drunk idea, and it happened so quick, but I still like it. I would do it again. It's like, I mean, actually, the tattoo guy, it was my first rampage. I think.
I remember.
I was the assistant of Ale de Lulu. He kind of hired me, and that were together I did a story about Brandon. So for the magazine with the cover and a big 15-page story, I think. So the guy spent some time with these guys, which was quite fun.
Always fun.
And then two girls adopted me in their RV. It was a Swiss girl and an Austrian girl.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But the fun thing was when Matt DeLorme, another photography buddy, I flew to his place and we made a road trip with his Mini Cooper through America to Utah, and he dropped me off in the RV park on the other side of the old Rampage side, and they were like, so I thought because he's American, the two girls were talking English, so we all were talking English. Then he left and they were still talking English, and I was like, we can actually switch now, but they couldn't understand each other. So the Swiss is pretty hard, and the Austrians, so they couldn't understand each other. I can't understand anything what Swiss people say, like. So we were talking the Swiss, the German, and the Austrian, and we were talking English the whole time. And then after the pitch, we went to Monster Cup.
Yeah.
And then we ended up in Vegas for 2 or 3 days. I was quite bored because we were walking around so long, like it was crazy. But then we met like some of the YT people at the Hart in Huntington. Like Corey Hart, the husband of Pink. He has a tattoo studio in the Hard Rock Cafe, and they were getting tattoos there, and they were actually super expensive and quite shitty. And somehow the idea started, like to get a tattoo. I don't know why. I haven't thought before about it. And then we ended up in another tattoo studio. The girls were, because I had long hair, they were cutting my hair with a scissor above the trash can outside. And then we went in, and they had to pay. They also got some finger tattoos. They were quite expensive, but the guy who did my stuff was so stoked. He actually called his buddies to have a look at my tattoos. And then I was laying there and got Vegas baby on my head. And so I was just afraid because that he get me vegan baby or something. But, it was quite painful, but not as painful, I think, as the belly, the side of your belly. The hips more.
What about your ass? I got my ass tattooed as well, and it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced.
Nothing. Then you should not do your hips. This part is like the most crazy part. And when I got in the middle part of my chest, this part was quite painful, and then it goes to the middle where your bone is, and I thought like he will cut me, like he will open me.
Really?
I
found the ass brutal, but then I do have my hips done. Just above my hip. Yeah. And I think it was bad, but my ass was oof.
I think everybody, I met a girl once, and she had also like the chest and the upper leg, and my chest hurt, and she's like, oh, it was fine, but her leg hurt, and my leg was nothing. So,
weird, isn't it? How we all experience it a little bit different.
I have Steel City Media on my ass. I lost the bet with Joe.
Oh, yeah.
This is where I have Steel City Media and S4P here. I haven't been to my tattoo guy for like 2 years maybe, because I don't know. It's because I don't think too much about it. It just happens. If my media squid on my leg, we were just sitting after EWS or Crankworks with like 12 people in an Indian restaurant with Jerome Clemens, Duncan, Sven, everybody was there, and I had the idea to get a media squid. But the thing is, if I would have done it on my own and made my own design, I would have a media octopus, because what I thought, they started drawing, and I was like, no, this is not a squid. And what I thought is a squid was actually an octopus. No, what I thought was a squid was an octopus. So if they would not like, no, this is not.
No, it's a tiger.
So I would have a media octopus. But then everybody started drawing, and I collected all the drawings. And when I was back home, I picked the nicest one. I think it was Jamie Nicol who drew the nicest one. And then this is how I. So and
Wicked.
I think I haven't seen my high performance, what Josh Bryson drew.
That's insane. Brilliant.
Wow.
I love your tattoos, Boris.
I like that
fantastic.
You've got these random and really funny tattoos, but none of them are like pretty small. They're all 10 out of 10 commitment.
But I think, imagine, but like I think this position or the location gives the size. Imagine like I would have a dog like this. That would look so gay. Like it's.
That's such a good way of looking at it. So what body part have you got which is too small for a tattoo?
This is why I haven't got anything on my back, because I don't know what it's like, like. Back.
I thought you were gonna say your dick.
I lined that one up and he didn't take it.
Can't imagine that feeling. That must be horrible. Like, yeah. It's like, I mean, how you tattooed it? Like when it's stand up, or when it's like how do you
know that as soon as that needle comes out, it's going in its shell, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine you start, you think like, okay, get it up, and then they just the first touch with the needle, like how does it? No, I know it's like.
You reckon you could get a harden in front of a tattoo artist? I think it'd be pretty tough. I'm not depending who it is. I mean, it'd be pretty tough. I think.
No, what we
just
think is
the needle.
But I think there are a lot of like chicks have tattooed boobs, but also like other areas. But we think like, oh, that must be cool as a tattoo guy. But then you have like the big ones and like the, like it's not all like models coming in want to have their vagina tattoos. So it's like it can be a special one.
Yeah, you get some warlocks.
I'd bet that most vagina tattoos aren't on models.
I think there's some correlation there, Dave. I think you speak the truth. Yeah,
I think so.
But I want to go back, but I have I still have a bit of free space, but it needs some, with the camera. I asked Sven so many times to please, because he is the biggest influence on my photography, and it's something special, and I wanted to give him to draw me a camera. It has some kind of story. I'm not the guy like who like have big stories. The story comes from the rest of it, not just the tattoo itself. So, but he always refused. Like, oh, I can't draw. And my idea was just 4 lines, 1 circle, and maybe a button, and that's it. And everybody can draw this, but he always refused to. Then I put it in our media script group. We have a WhatsApp chat with all the, not with all, but the core group of squids. And Sam Needham, who's always super quiet and doesn't say a lot, but then he came up with the design, and it's like, not seen it.
Yeah, dude, it makes sense. Like, if you're gonna get a camera, you get it on the whole torso, obviously.
The idea actually was to get it on the other side of my head, but the thing was, my tattoo guy, I never get appointments. He just messaged me like, hey, I have time. You want to come over? So it's just more like on call.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, the 20th of December. And was short before Christmas, and I thought like, oh fuck, we have this family Christmas dinner, and like coming with a fresh, because then I have to when I cut this side, I have to cut this side, and coming with a fresh cut mohawk with 2 tattoos on both sides to my grandma's Christmas dinner, I was like, oh, come on, she's not the youngest anymore. Is it really necessary? And then
I have a feeling she might not understand. Yeah. Hey, why did you get Sven to do a Batman logo? I think that would work good.
Nah,
MTB, or a silverback. MTB Batman wouldn't be bad though. Just a Batman logo, I can imagine it.
Have you got messages about MTB Batman when you forget a credit or when you?
What is it? What's MTB Batman?
Well, he's always looking. The MTB Batman is always watching over the mountain world, and if anyone slips up, you get a message. I tell you what, the MTB Batman messages have been becoming more frequent during this pandemic.
God, I don't think that's a good thing, is it?
Have you
tightening down.
Is Brenton getting some?
Yeah, I think everyone is probably. Everyone gets shit off Sven.
That's funny.
It's like right, with the with the credit thing. It's actually where it's coming from, because so many writers they take all their brands and like their, I don't know who else, but then there is no photo credit. I think it's not like giving shit for like.
No, dude. I'm making fun of him, but it's all for a reason.
Yeah, it's there's a reason why.
Yeah.
So and he's really like taking care, not just for his credit, he's for everybody. So it's like, and there's a hashtag MTB Batman.
That's quality.
No. So, but I told Davi before, you have to cheer me up, because I was afraid, because I was listening to Eddie's and I was like, fuck, there's like so funny and so much stuff in it, and I was afraid that I'm sitting here like, yeah, I'm at home, I ride my bike, I don't do much PlayStation.
No.
Boris, dude,
this is the fam.
A fairly colourful character. I think you're a fairly colourful character. I think you don't have to worry.
Yeah, but this is not how I see my, like I don't think like, oh, you look, I'm bored. I think if someone would see my daily routine here, it would be quite boring. Like I started doing yoga in the morning because I have not much to do, so I haven't done it today.
So you've sort of had all of your your schedule cut with all these races going. Is it not a cool opportunity for you to like you have some time to like organise projects that you maybe always wanted to? Because you're travelling the world the whole time shooting races. Obviously, you've got commercial clients as well, but surely it's a cool idea that we organise a trip, for instance, or
and we're not allowed to travel. Like now when everything is a bit more chilled, and this is the thing. It's a good point, because I think our skill is also we like I heard of a shooting photographer who's just going on crazy shootings, but not shooting races or events. He would never come to Crankworks because it's way too hectic, and you shoot in the shittiest light in the middle of the day. You can't control you can't control what's going on. You can't tell the rider on the race line, it's like, there's a light spot. Can you maybe take this line? It's impossible. But we know how to make it work. So this is our skill. But on the other hand, for sure, I would love to shoot at sunset, sunrise. When I hear other photographers going to La Réunion, they can scout for 5 days and then they can shoot for 5 days. I never had this, but on the other hand, we are pretty good in improvising. Like I had clients asking me in Whistler, hey, do you have maybe time for a 2-hour shooting after the podium and stuff? And actually, it's like you have to just go on a trail and shoot what's going on. And then they are so happy and surprised how much stuff they got. So I always think like I should fuck it up on purpose, so they think like, oh, maybe next time we have to give them at least a day. But the feedback is more like that they're surprised how flexible and that we still get stuff done. Yeah. And now that I'm at home, I think it's pretty chilled here. We talked before about it. It doesn't feel like, you know, restaurants are open. You can sit inside without a mask, even though you have to walk in with a mask, but then you can put it off. Otherwise, you can't eat. I will shoot with a buddy at his trails. I'm chatting to Win, so I want to go to Munich and to shoot some of his stuff. It's good. I like it. But I prefer the intensity of racing. It's cool, you know, to have some shots, you know, like, I don't want to, when you see it, JB Letois is like, it's crazy stuff that he's doing for Commensal, but he's like he's hired, he's like employee of Commensal. So he's going to selected events, but he has kind of the freedom, and his creativity is like, I mean, he has his style, so it feels like when you flick through all these pictures, you have seen it. If you've seen one, you see like a flash from behind, but he does it perfectly. Now, sometimes some pictures showing up from like sponsored posts from other photographers trying just to get some smoke behind a flash doesn't make a JB Letois picture. You know, like it's perfect.
Yeah, he's a boss. Yeah.
But it's so different. But if I could choose, like, I still want to come over, so I'm in contact with Chris Seeger. We want to go surfing. John Fernandez posted something that Lufthansa is flying soon to Madeira, so I could actually do mountain bike holidays, and I could surf. Or if I can go to Sintra again, I would just go for surfing. So it would actually, like, at the moment I enjoy it to be at home, or like I try to enjoy it. So I haven't ridden so much, and it's like I'm feeling real fit. Like, you know, when you're traveling, the thing we're missing most is a routine.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, you not after 3 hours of sleep, you don't do push-ups in the morning, or you don't do yoga in the morning. You just stay under the shower and try to wake up and then go back shooting. So I'm enjoying it, kind of. I think my body is happy that I'm having a routine of training. I'm doing the yoga, I'm doing exercise with TRX and kettlebell, I'm riding every day. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But if I could choose, I would prefer to travel 10.
So basically what you're saying is the first opportunity, you're out of there.
Kind of, but if I still, like, we were talking to come to Brendan's Ollie's place to ride there, it's always on the list, and we never had the chance because we're always like, oh yeah, you guys are there, and then we meet at Rampage, and we're like, fuck, let's do it this winter, and then the weather is shit, and like, that would be now finally the opportunity to do it. I have to. It's not like that I'm just waiting that I can leave, because at the moment it feels good to spend time with my friends and to do my stuff here, but in the back of mentally I still have like even if with all the stuff I'm doing, there's a lot of time to overthink or just to hang out and do nothing and feel useless. So I prefer to have something to do.
It'd be excellent to have you over here, mate, for the Freedom Ride. That would be
if it's possible, you know, like
that'd be sick.
I'm not sure, actually, you know, Sven asked yesterday in the group something about the borders and how it's working, if people can come to Germany. And to be honest, I have no idea. I'm not checking the news. I'm not into all this stuff, all these YouTubers and people. I'm pretty stupid, you know, like I'm not so into all these politics, and I just see what's happening. I see people outside, or I don't see people outside. I don't know what the actual rules are, you know, like we're going in group rides, but it's not like we have 5 guys like riding together, and it's not just like that we giving hugs all the time. So like we just meet on the car park, go for a ride. So I have no idea what's actually the rules, but sometimes I want to figure it out with Madeira. That would be actually a pretty cool thing. Yeah, you know, like I would take my camera just for fun, but it would be more like to spend 2 weeks riding bikes and trying to surf again.
Oh yeah.
Have you tried surfing, Ollie?
No, dude, I'm not into. I sink. If I go in the water, I sink to the bottom.
Said it before.
Yeah, I'm out there, and I just think that I'm not really cut out. Like, all these fish can swim way quicker than even our fastest humans. So yeah, I think I'm not designed for it.
No, I I don't know actually how it started. Also, like I think in the off season I was bored and just booked the flight, but it's fucking so good. It's
I'd love to be able to surf. I fully get it, but I just can't.
No, but even like sitting on your board in the water when the sun is coming up,
nice.
It's fucking so good. It's and you know, like Dan Hearn, our photo buddy, he's afraid to put his head underwater. I think it would be the full nightmare because if you get in the washing machine somehow, I'm not getting scared. You know, like I can't. Sven and I always do when we are traveling and we have a pool. We have Sven loves competitions, so we always do like diving. Who can hold the breath the longest and do the longest lines? With my smoking lung, he's usually winning. But I was training last winter. Now I have a different breathing technique, so I can actually do longer. I trained. I was prepared for this season, but it can be quite gnarly. But it's like I like the part of it, like getting fully smashed, and like I actually got stitches in Bali in December. You know, like I got overhead waves, and it feels so good. And then the second last day, I always tried smaller boards. And first I got my best left-hander so far, but the leash snapped on the second wave, so I had to get out. Got a smaller board, went on the other wave to the right-hander, got fully smashed. And I just remembered that I had a feeling on my chin and my head. So the fin cut my face, and the board was smashed on my head. And I continued surfing. When I came out, people were like, "Oh, you're bleeding." It's like, "Oh, it's just a scratch. Like I don't feel it." And when I was back in the chill house, I had a shower. At first I break first, and I had a shower, and I looked in the mirror, and I could put my finger inside. Then I had to get stitches, so I missed one day surfing.
Nice.
Nah. But
nice.
What's because when I listened to Eddie's, you guys said it's a 1 week to go, so it's like, but Eddie's wasn't even the last one. In Eddie's podcast, you were talking like, oh, you think you have 1 more week to go. But Eddie's, and I thought like how hard it is to have me after Eddie because Eddie's was so good. But Eddie's wasn't last week. It's a few weeks.
No, we had who was last? Andrew. We had Needles last week.
Needles, yeah.
So the premise is we're just going to keep doing these until lockdown's over.
Yeah, but how long? When is it? When will it be open?
Nobody knows. So we're just holding on.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no.
So actually, you might as well put a bet in, actually, Boris, because Davi guessed eight episodes. I guessed 9 episodes. I think Deeks guessed 11, or Bernard. Yeah. Anyway, we're guessing what number of the lockdown companion we get to until we get to do our bike ride with everyone.
What am I now? Which number?
You are episode 10.
You have to guess a number. Yeah, we're
but
10 now.
What is I'm 10.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I'm the last for you guys, but I'm optimistic. So come on, let's say 11. So we have one more for the final one. It would be cool if I would be the final one, and after this one tomorrow or when it goes online, the news come, it's open again. Now let's say 10. Like I'm optimistic. I will release you out of the lockdown. So with my words. You can put it,
amazing.
You can use it. So when it's getting online, the other Boris, you can put us split screen, and then
all right. So we've got a week for you to be wrong. Brilliant.
Yeah, amazing.
How long have you? It's quite interesting because how long were you talking before this? Actually, did it work out? You're surprised that it worked out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had Ollie's and Mum on first.
How was it?
It's brilliant.
Really good.
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah. It's been actually a really fun episode for me. Just all these surprises. I get to see my mum. I get to see my man Boris. Brilliant.
I didn't know that I'm coming on the show.
No, I knew you were, but I didn't know you were coming on this episode because obviously Davy's been very secretive because he's been.
I wasn't on purpose.
My
I legit thought. Yeah, I've been talking to Ollie's mum basically.
How many?
It's been taking up a lot of time.
Because I was listening also to
and
Place.
Sister.
To Place. How long were you talking before I got online?
Maybe an hour. Yeah,
really?
We should probably look towards wrapping this one up. We're at
2 hours. 2 hours, man. Flies by when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Time flies
That's
by.
Great, but all the stuff you can. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I think when we did our podcast years ago, we didn't know what to expect, but somehow if you just pick it up and you have a conversation like with someone you meet at a bar with a beer in your hand, and you just keep going and you jump from different topics, but also with other people, you would just sit there, and after the first topic, it's like, yeah, nah. But with you guys, you come up with like you go through all this stuff, and it's like I think it's pretty cool. Like
Thank you.
It needs a special
Boris.
chemistry to do this, you know, like, and then, you know, like, obviously you guys, it works well, you know, together.
Yin to the yang.
Fantastic. Very kind words.
That is very kind.
But you know what I mean? It's like, I think you don't have to say names, but I think you had guests where you maybe thought like, it will be a tough one when you have to keep it going.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's not catching it up, and it's not like a fluid conversation like would you have someone there, the other side is just waiting for a question.
Yep, there's been some difficult stuff.
Do you know what, dude? When you've got someone sat in front of you and they've got Vegas Baby tattooed on their head, there's always something that you can talk about, you know? You can always just be like, hey, dude, what's with the Vegas Baby that you got tattooed on it?
Yeah, but it's just with buddies, you know, like when I'm going on a Tinder date, I think I could have a full sleeve tattooed with like skulls and like, I don't know, skeletons. It would be more socially accepted than when I pull my sleeve up and they noticed my wiener dog or my car. Seriously, it's like, it's not. I'm fine with it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, you know. I think you're. Oh, Corona. It's socially more accepted to have like a full weird sleeve with like dark stuff instead of like a flower. You know, it's nice. You know, like I think it's so. With the biggest baby, like I wanted to. It's a thing in the off season now that I have time for to date chicks, but actually I also want to have a mohawk again. But you know, your ratio is getting quite low when you have a fresh cut mohawk. With your not even the Vegas, I'm not sure it doesn't make a big difference, but just if you're showing up on a date.
Yeah, it's that first impression thing's tough, isn't it? Because it is a thing, first impressions, isn't it? As much as we hate to think it is, there is an initial reaction.
But if you with a mohawk, if you find the right one, then it's perfect.
I was just going to say that I can imagine the chicks that are into the mohawk and the Vegas Baby tattoo are the ones that maybe you want to have around you during lockdown.
But the problem is
freaks.
Yes.
But the problem is, I'm actually not into, you know, I don't want to have a full, you know, like I don't like piercings and like I don't want to have a full tattooed chick. It's just because I have my tattoos doesn't mean like, you know, I don't want to have a full dressed up one, but it's like, people think like, oh, you have tattoos, you must be like on the dirty ones, you know, like with the face tattoo and all this stuff. Like, oh no.
Well, you should have told that to your ex, Boris, before she got a dick tattooed on her face.
This is that was. What is this? It's inside, but she actually shaved your mohawk. It was 2016. I came back from and she shaved me. She shaved me mohawk. Nah, but brilliant. I'm not. I don't want to know. Maybe they listen. So I have a radar, or like I'm a magnet for the borderline depression. Like I'm always.
That's your type, man.
Yeah.
It's a special one. It's like, I don't know why it doesn't. My Tinder pictures are not that bad, so I'm not sure what I always think. Like something is wrong there. But let's come back. Ollie, will we have Rampage? Will we see it Rampage at the end of the year?
We'll have to see. I mean, it's really difficult to even know if anything's going to go on, isn't it? So I'm just saying yes to everything. I'll come along to whatever you got going. One thing I do think's... Yeah. Oh, sorry.
We are just ready. I'm just ready.
We're ready. Exactly, yeah. Like what Eddie said, we're like one of those UFC fighters that's just ready for the fight.
That was a great analogy. I liked that.
Yeah, it's good. That's solid.
I mean, like with Rampage, because it's so far outside, I think it would be easier, and there's not too much involved. You know, like with no big teams. I hope that all the races, like with EWS and World Cups, will happen. But it's also, if it happens, I want to have it properly. You know, like if there's a weird feeling because maybe the Kiwis are not allowed to come, or like, is it a real World Cup? You know, that they don't get a overall ranking and all this stuff. So for sure, it's not, you know, like I want to do it because I love it. Not if I earn or not, it doesn't make a difference. But because we always tell the story for Vital, and like it's more like the whole thing. I want to tell a proper story that everybody's happy, and not a weird little thing. Oh no, we can't talk about it. That some writers are not even allowed to come. So this is my only thing. Is like, if it happens, please, fair for everybody.
Solid point, man. Well, thank you so much, dude, for joining us and taking time out of your schedule to sit and chat.
Thank you guys for,
mate. Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
Out of my little how do you say it? mental.
Mate, pleasure. Honestly, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's always good to see you, Boris. You're the man.
We should work something out that I come over finally. Shooting Surrey Hills. Is the fern high in Surrey Hills, or is it like always when I see the winter videos, it's like brown and flat? But is it now like green?
All green, and it's amazing at the minute. It'd be good. Let's get you over.
I had a shooting last night. I was shooting with a buddy, and I went to his place. He's a good friend, and he loves building trails. And he told me like, oh, it's so nice. It's everything perfect here. And but he saw it from his writing perspective, and like some of our forests here are quite like not nice looking. They have good trails, but not everything is green and stuff. And I asked him like, yeah, maybe you have some fern corners, like shredding like in the fern. And he was like, yeah, we have everything. Come over. And then we were on the trail. And it's like, oh, this doesn't look really nice. And it's like, you mentioned some fern. Where's and he was looking around. I saw him like looking for fern, and then he found one single one. And he was like, dude, there's a fern. It's like, fuck. It's like, I'm in a field, like chest high, just straying through it. And he was looking for the fern.
That's funny.
Yeah, but thank you guys.
No, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Who will be next, or will you keep it secret?
I have no idea, actually. I have no clue. We take it as it comes, these things, so we'll see.
So
try and figure something out.
No fucking idea where we're going.
Ollie, I also got shit from Sven that my Insta feed was so boring because I haven't posted much. Now I got a bit again into it, but I was because I'm lazy, so I was just using the last 3 years because I have it on the easy accessible hard drives. But I want to get Madeira Descript one out.
Yeah, definitely. You took some amazing shots there.
Yeah, but it was still
one of my favourite ones. I've got one in my other room by you, I think. Yeah.
So I will get this hard drive out, and maybe I can also send you some over for your throwback.
You the man.
All right, brother.
Thank you guys.
Cheers, just hang up and we'll take it from here. Peace out, bro.
Peace. Bye.
See ya. All right, my G.
What a guy. He's the man, isn't he?
He absolutely is the man. Good episode, brother.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thanks for surprises, Dave. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
You deserve
Flown by.
You deserve
You're the man.
All right. Not done any dope or note. We've done no suggestions, but we do have a cover from Zeb, and he has covered. Anything you want to say? Sorry, before we wrap up.
No, I'm doing a drum roll, dude. Keep it going.
He has covered Janis Joplin.
Nice.
Submitted by Cuban Harry. Dude, he's going to kill this. I've not heard it yet, but I can see that it's already in my inbox. So I'm going to drag that over, throw it in, and slay it.
We're done, dude. That was episode 10 of The Lockdown Companion. Fantastic.
Yes. Buy some merch. Out.
Yeah.
All right, man. Easy.